This application demonstrates magnetic principles with interactive animations and examples. The animations use two interactive dipole permanent magnets on a grid which can be moved in order to observe how magnetic fields interact with each other. As you reposition the magnets, you can witness the dynamic field lines shift in real time, vividly illustrating attraction and repulsion. This immediate visual feedback helps solidify understanding of how magnetic field strength and direction are affected by the proximity and orientation of the magnets, making abstract concepts much more tangible and easier to comprehend. This visualization hopefully allows a better understanding of how magnetic fields interact. Magnetic field lines conventionally originate from the North Pole and enter the South Pole of a dipole magnet. The density and opacity of these vector lines and arrows give an indication of the field strengths and directions. The stronger fields have denser and more opaque representations while the weaker fields are less opaque. Observe how lines curve and interact between the two magnets or when poles are flipped. Tap and drag either magnet to move it around the grid. The interaction of the vector field lines will update as you drag the magnets. Click anywhere on the grid and you will see a zoom box in the upper left showing each magnet's north and south vector's direction and the strength as a function of brightness. The white vector is the resultant vector of the north and south vectors of the M1 and M2 magnets. At the bottom of the screen are three lines of information. The first line shows the grid block number, resultant vector strength and direction of the M1 and M2 vector fields. The second line shows the M1 magnet strength and direction for each M1 pole. The third line shows the M2 magnet strength and direction for each M2 pole. You can use the Options button on the main screen app bar to launch all options that are available. The pause animation icon will stop the animation arrows from moving. The Show North and South Components icon will toggle the main screen between showing the north and south vectors for each magnet and the resultant vector for each grid block. The Flip Magnet Poles icon, this reverses the poles on the M1 magnet. Note when the poles of M1 and M2 are opposite and the magnets are put on top of each other, the direction and strength of the magnet poles cancel out, so there are no resultant vectors. The Hide Resultant icon, this will add or remove the resultant vector from the zoom box. The Block Size icon, this allows changing the grid block size, which is useful to see enlarged vectors, or smaller ones that help show the animations of the vector fields moving. The three slider bars allow manipulating the length of the vector lines, the animation loop frequency, and the brightness of the vectors. Please note, the brighter you make the vectors, the less the vector strength will be observed, however, making the vectors brighter will then be easier to see. The vector strength can still be seen in the three information lines at the bottom of the screen when you click on a grid block. There also will be a compass beside the sliders if your device supports a magnetometer sensor in it. Most newer mobile phones and tablets have this sensor. If you click on the compass, a zoomed compass page will allow you to use the app as a regular compass. There is also a help page that explains the animation and options, as well as an equations and concepts page on the very simplified approach to show vector fields. This animation is not meant to go into the detailed theory of vector fields, which is a very advanced topic. Hope this small animation app helps in understanding how the interactions of magnetic fields are around magnets that are not visible.